Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of the Dragon Ball Network podcast. Today, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Sal and Steven. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm really upset I missed last week, but I'm back this week.
Yeah, very upset that we missed you last week. What's going on, Steven?
Good. Much better now that you know we're here and talking. But
Is that
you want to introduce the special guest?
No, yeah. I got that. I got this. We have a special guest today on the channel, introducing SmugStick, or as I will be calling him, Luis. What's going on, Smug?
Hey, Oz. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to be on the podcast.
And before we get into what our topics is, we're gonna let you. Maybe people don't know who you are. Just introduce yourself and what you do.
Like you said, I'm SmugStick Luis. I have a YouTube channel called SmugStick, and I'm very active on Twitter. My handle there is Share Your Energy, and basically I do a bunch of Dragon Ball YouTube videos, mostly what if stories, some explanation videos every now and then. I have my own podcast there as well. And yeah, that's it.
Very interesting. I've actually watched a lot of your videos, and they're definitely all interesting. So make sure everybody to go check that out. And yeah, we're just gonna sit back today and just talk about Dragon Ball like we always do every week. And we're actually gonna start off with our first topic today, and we're gonna talk about video games. We got new video games that just dropped, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. I don't know, have any of you guys played it yet?
No, I've seen some gameplay.
Be buying it in a week.
I have it. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah? Yeah.
It's, I'm not the biggest fan of Heroes as a whole, as a concept, but it's a lot more addicting than I thought it would be.
Really? Is it, from pictures I've seen, is it card-based?
Yeah, it's card-based, just like the arcade game is in Japan. Because this is the fourth, I think, iteration of the arcade game in a console, because the first three were on a 3DS. Now this one's on the Switch. But it's, if you ever played in Xenoverse 2 there was the Hero Coliseum,
yes,
it's basically that. Yeah, it's
just that game but with cards. All right.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question? So is it like so the cards, they all have like their own abilities and stuff, so is it like a Dokkan but like free to play, like you don't have to buy stones?
Yeah, so it has its gacha system. Like you get these tickets, and each ticket you get one draw. 10 tickets gets you 10 draws. So it's basically like single versus multi-summon and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all free. There's over like 10,000 cards, I think, or maybe over 1,000. I don't know. It's a large number.
Damn, that is a lot.
Both numbers sound very, very high.
Yeah. So yeah, that game just came out, and then we're still waiting for an announcement on it, but Project Z is also coming out, presumably this year, maybe. So
yeah, it is this year.
That's another game that everybody's looking forward to. I know I am. I've already set my pre-order down on it, but hopefully GameStop doesn't go out of business by the time that game rolls around. But in the spirit of talking about video games, we're gonna talk about the first Dragon Ball games that we ever played. So which one of you guys wants to start off with that?
I can start off. I think
go ahead.
Being the oldest one, so I'm gonna take it back to my 5th grade graduation. My parents got me Legacy of Goku for the Game Boy, and even though I know that later on, like, it turned out to be the worst one of the whole series, back then it didn't matter. Like, anything and everything Dragon Ball was like the greatest thing for me. So I think I beat that game in like 2 days, even though you had to grind out like crazy. I enjoyed it a lot.
Trust me, there's a lot of Dragon Ball games that we could call subpar, but my first game is definitely not that looked highly upon either. What about you, Louise? What was your first game?
My first video game, well, you see, I didn't have a system that had any Dragon Ball video games until I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a Nintendo 64 growing up, and there was no Dragon Ball games released for that. So my first video game was actually Budokai 3 for the PlayStation 2, and it was the most incredible day ever. I actually got it for Christmas. It was a bootleg. I got it with a
bootleg
PS4. Yeah, a PS4 that was modded, and Budokai 3 bootleg, and it was the most fun I've ever had in my life. And along with it, I got another game that was Budokai 3, but it was a modded Budokai 3 to be Budokai 3 AF.
Budokai
and
AF.
I've heard of this.
AF.
I saw a video on this.
Is this like a popular mod?
Yeah, it's a very popular mod. See, in Ecuador, there was pirate shops were everywhere.
Yeah.
And this was one of the most popular ones. It was just it was Budokai 3, but all the characters were modded to be Dragon Ball AF characters. Kid Buu was evil Goku. Goku was AF Goku. Like Goten was Goku Jr. Stuff like that. It was really weird and like very dark and scary, and I hated playing it.
Yeah, God, that was when was that?
2005.
2005. Yeah, that would have been about. When did Dragon Ball go off the air? Because or at least GT go off the air? Because then that's when all of the
it ended
rumors.
98 in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
I think it kept going until like 2006.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Dragon Ball AF is still one of the most popular rumors that has ever graced our fandom.
I mean, it hit like worldwide news because of that article.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and for some reason, people actually believe that.
Well, because it was an official article. They came out with other things, so why not believe that too?
I guess.
I remember. Sorry about that. I remember when I was little. I used to look up on YouTube, be like Dragon Ball AF episodes, because I used to see it, and I was like, is it real? I was trying to figure out what it was. So 9 years old, so I was trying to find out, was this thing real? Because it looked cool, but I never found what I was looking for.
And then a decade later, Sal is still sitting there and doing the same thing with Super. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sal, what was your first video game?
So I could take this. So you're saying the first game I played?
Okay, yeah, not the first one you saw, but the first one that you owned and played.
Okay, so the first one that I owned that was my game was Burst Limit, because I got it when I was 8. So I think the game came out in 2008, so it was around the same time. I got it. That was the only game on the Xbox 360 that was out, and it was a ton of fun. I was upset though that it didn't have the Buu Saga, but it had what it had, and it was cool. But then when I got Raging Blast, I instantly fell in love with that game. I thought it was much better because it was more like what I wanted, because it had more characters and it was more of a fun play style. And yeah, so I mean, Burst Limit was the first one I played, but I really liked Burst Limit, and I still do like Burst Limit.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really played Burst Limit, so I don't really have a opinion on that. But it was definitely one of those games that I always hear people talk about the most. My first game was one that Steven said that everybody knows that, like Steve, Goku isn't one of the best ones, but I got into it really late. I mean, the first one technically that I ever saw was the first Raging Blast game because of my older brother. But after that, the first one I owned, it came out on my birthday. I'm not sure what year, but it's the infamous Ultimate Tenkaichi.
Oh, 2013. No, that game came out in 2011.
Yeah, that was the first one I bought, and I thought it was the greatest game I have ever seen. And then little old me went on the internet, and people were saying that this was the most shit game they had ever played. And I was like, I pre-ordered this game. I spent my birthday cash.
You were determined to get it.
I have a lot of attachment to that game as well. It's back. So what happened with me was that was back when I was in middle school when that game came out, and I had 2 other friends who were Dragon Ball fans, and we all were excited for that game, and we all pre-ordered it, and we got it, and we got other kids who didn't like Dragon Ball to get the game because we had it. So I had like 7 friends playing that game, and it was cool because we would all play online against each other and have our created characters, and it was a good time. Yeah, I know.
You were about to say something, Luis?
Yeah, sorry. On that same note, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the worst Dragon Ball game ever, then? That you've played?
That I've played.
Yeah.
For me, it was Battle Z.
Battle Z was pretty bad, wasn't it?
I've never played that one.
I think I picked that one up at GameStop for like $3. So that was I picked that one up later. I don't know. I know ones that I've heard of. I haven't really been too good like playing into a lot of the old ones. I would say I've heard that Dragon Ball Sagas is a really bad game, but
it's pretty awful.
But
I've heard about that too.
I guess technically, if we're gonna say the worst one that I've played, yeah, it's probably Battle Z. But I only picked it up for $3, so I don't have too much of a hatred towards it.
Yeah, no, it's that Battle Z is definitely a pretty bad game. I think personally, for me, it would be. I don't know if you guys know this one. It's for the Game Boy. It's called Taiketsu.
Oh, I've heard. I've heard about it.
I've played that one.
It's bad. That was actually my introduction. Well, sort of my introduction to the Dragon Ball American soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not a great introduction.
Oh God.
So it's only up from there. Think about it that way.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. When you look at that and then you play a game like Fighters or Xenoverse 2, you're like, oh, thank God. You just remember where you came from.
Yeah.
Playing Dragon Ball Taiketsu.
But you know, when you're a kid, you don't really care that much. Because I 100% to that game. I got every single item, every character. Just because I was dumb.
Well, that's
I remember.
Go ahead, Sal.
Okay, I remember the hype that I had because the first Dragon Ball game that I was looking forward to getting, like pre-order and everything, was Raging Blast 2 because I told you guys I was a big Raging Blast fan.
Mm-hmm.
And also I had Tenkaichi 3 at the time, and I always wanted a Tenkaichi 4. But I also was really looking forward to Raging Blast 2 because it was like, you know, it was a continuation. It was having all the characters. And I don't know what YouTubers I was watching, but there were YouTubers that were hyping up the game and like announcing what characters were confirmed and back then. Like it was really interesting. And then when the game came out, it was like, oh my God, you get to play as all these movie villains and all this stuff. And I don't know. I have a lot of attachment towards Raging Blast 2.
I know a lot of people that say that is one of their favorites. If it's not that, it's one of the Budokai games. So
always the Budokai games.
Yeah.
I know there's also debates too. People like to debate Budokai versus Raging Blast, but I kind of like I set them by themselves. I don't know why there's really a reason to debate it, but it's people who are like, no, my game's better than yours. So
I think a better debate is Raging Blast versus Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah,
because they have like very, very similar gameplays. The only thing is, I'm going to say I think Raging Blast 1 does have some things that it does better than Raging Blast 2. Like I think the graphics of Raging Blast 1 are better, which is crazy. But I think they put this like this filter over, and I saw a few people talking about this on Twitter today. How they like the white yellow Super Saiyan hair better than the dark golden Super Saiyan hair.
You mean the detailed
Raging
one?
Blast 1. Like, you know how like sometimes they animate Super Saiyan to have like this dark golden hair?
Yeah, and
the super spiky
and then
one?
sometimes it's like the white. Yeah, and then sometimes it's like the white yellow.
Right, when he was
Raging
fighting
Blast
against
had
Frieza.
the white yellow, and then Raging Blast 2 had the dark, and they had like this saturation feel to it. I just wasn't a fan of that. But I felt like Raging Blast 1 had a really good arcade mode. I thought that was fun. And also, I thought the story mode on Raging Blast 1 was really, really good. They had all the what-if scenarios, and I thought that was a ton of fun. Raging Blast 2 didn't even have a story mode.
Raging Blast 1. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Raging Blast 1, I think, is one of the games for Dragon Ball that has some of the most love poured into it. Like, I talk about it with some of my friends all the time, because that's one of the games that we've bonded over. But, like, Raging Blast 1 had, like, the menus. The menu looked incredible. That's probably the best menu we've ever gotten in the video game.
I agree.
Yeah, the music, well, the music's pretty good in the English version, but like in the Japanese version, it's straight out of the anime. It's the Japanese soundtrack.
Wait, it has Kikuchi?
Yeah, all of the Sparking series and all of Raging Blast has the Kikuchi soundtrack.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's why I have all those games imported.
Oh no! Sounds about to go. Sounds about to go eBay all of those imports right now.
They're pretty cheap too, so I recommend it.
For real, and I'm gonna go get.
Yeah,
but do you have to have a special console that plays that version of the game?
Well, I don't know about the Xbox, but the PlayStation 3 is region free.
Region free. All right, that's good. I might.
I have a PS3. I'm gonna go get that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that, but I really like the Raging Blast 1 soundtrack, but I didn't know it had Kikuchi.
Yeah, and it's like their their video game music. I don't know how you describe it when it's made in game and not with actual instruments. Mm-hmm. But it still sounds really good. But as I was saying, like the gameplay coming off of Budokai Tenkaichi was pretty cool, but I could never really get into it because I've always found it super difficult compared to it. For some reason, I do really good in Raging Blast 2, but in Raging Blast 1, I will not beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, Raging Blast 2 made a few changes where they had the where you power up all the way and you can go into that, what's it called, that like different mode where your key bar turns purple. I didn't like that. I guess I like using the ultimate like a lot better. Like I would never use it that then. But Raging Blast 1 was, I felt, a little more difficult. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's those games are both good in my opinion. I think they're like a part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
just because. Go ahead.
A lot of people debate about the Budokai games and the Raging Blast games, saying they're not true fighting games, and like they have a point. But the thing about them is they're not made to be true fighting games. Rather, they're supposed to be Dragon Ball simulators, which is exactly why I brought up the point about them having the original soundtrack, because it's supposed to make you feel like you're in a battle scene. You're not supposed to be in a competitive arena, you know?
Yeah, that's my favorite feature that Xenoverse 2 and Fighters both implemented, was they had the anime music pack. That I've never had a game that had that, where you had the actual music from the series, and it just changes the entire atmosphere, and I always wanted that for a Dragon Ball game. It changes the whole feel. Mm-hmm.
We're talking straight up fighting games?
So you're saying the one that depicts Dragon Ball most accurately?
Well, I think personally, probably, well, it's an RPG, but Attack of the Saiyans is probably the one I enjoyed the most.
I heard that one is really good.
It's a fantastic game, probably my favorite Dragon Ball game of all time. But besides that, I gotta say, honestly, probably, like, I like the Budokai Tenkaichi series better, but I gotta say, I think Shin Budokai's fighting system is just super satisfying.
Really good game.
Yeah, so I think I like that one the best. Oh yeah, I saw that.
I think Xenoverse 2, like, because I thought Xenoverse 1 was pretty good, but then I thought Xenoverse 2's fighting system, like, I thought, like, the game, like, if you take away, like, the whole thing with the netcode and all that, if you take, like, the actual gameplay by itself, I think it simulates Dragon Ball's fights better than any other game, really. Like, I mean, I'm not really going to consider Fighters because I feel like Fighters is just too difficult. But with Xenoverse 2, it's like, you know, when you do the whole snap vanishing thing, like you do like the like, you know, like where you like can teleport all over the place. Like,
really cool.
That to me was such a big improvement over Xenoverse 1, and that's all I wanted to do when I played Xenoverse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Tekken style? Yeah. Yeah, it is a yes, I remember something like that, it being a 2.5. Right. I also heard that you're not going to enjoy Fighters if you're not good at it.
That happened to me.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I like Fighters a lot. I'm not very good at it, but I don't know. If you take the time to learn the game, you can have a lot of fun with it. And even if you don't, the auto combos by itself is fun enough to be able to learn it. I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But like for me, Xenoverse, like I'm not the biggest fan. Like I'll play it and I enjoy it, but there's a lot of things that really throw me off about it, and I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at the Xenoverse fighting system compared to how I am in Fighters, which I'm not very good at either. But I have a lot more fun with Fighters than I do Xenoverse. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nope.
Eh.
Uh-uh.
And that is going to lead us into our first break. After the break, we're going to be talking about Piccolo versus 17, the fight from the Android arc, and what would have happened had it continued, and who would have won. You guys want to stay tuned for that. That'll be in part 2, coming up right now. Welcome everybody back to the second part of the Dragon Ball Network podcast. I still got my 3 guests on here, Sal, Luis, and Steven. What's going on, guys?
Actually, I'm the only one who's a guest.
Oh no, we're all guests. It's Jake that hosts the show.
I thought you guys were co-hosts.
Yeah,
they're co-hosts, but technically guests. I invite them on.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
okay.
So we're just as special as you are, because we also have to wait for the invitation every single week.
You're all special in my heart. You're all on my show.
Yay.
So I brought it up before the end of the last section, but we're going to be talking about Piccolo versus 17 from the Cell arc, and that we all know that the fight abruptly ended when Cell showed up. But had that fight gone on, who do we think would have won the fight? So I guess we can all do it one by one who we think would have won the fight, and then we can just have a discussion about it.
Wait, so hold on. Let's clear before we get into that. Are we saying that if nobody would have jumped in, they would have been 1-on-1?
Yes.
I don't think anyone would have jumped in because I think they were just having it being a 1v1.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have jumped in because 18 wanted to jump in, but 17 said that it was his fight, and then 16's main goal was to get Son Goku, so I don't think he would have jumped in either.
Right, but we can't forget that Krillin was also on his way. So he's also
Oh
a
yeah,
thing.
he would have made a big fucking.
Yeah, Big Dio, Krillin would have went there, and then what? Would have just got stomped.
Well, still. All right, so 1v1. No, okay.
Yes, 1v1 Piccolo versus 17. So
Prison rules.
yeah, prison rules. No holds barred. So I'll start off. I think we'll go down the list. It'll go me, Sal, Louise, and then Steven, and then we'll talk about. So I think 17 would have won the fight. What about you, Sal?
Yeah, I think 17.
I think Piccolo would have won the fight.
Louise.
And I'm also gonna have to go with Piccolo, only because of my Piccolo video. So I have to back up.
Hey, that's bias.
No, absolutely
That's
not.
bias.
It's then I'm gonna.
Absolutely.
I can't retcon my own.
Cheap plug.
Yeah. So okay, so it's 2-on-2, right? Let's go back to our corners. Let's talk about this, and then we'll come back.
All right.
But why do you guys think 17 would have won? Rather, why do you think that Piccolo would have ran out of stamina before 17, and he wouldn't get overpowered?
Sal,
Want me to do it, Chick?
yeah, go ahead, Sal, because
So
we'll say
I got
the same shit.
My
so.
handy manga here. So at the end of the fight, so they're fighting evenly. I don't think you can really argue that the fight itself, anybody had an advantage. I think it was shown that they're 100% even. But then at the end of the fight in the manga, I'm saying, so the fight in the manga ends basically right after the Hellzone grenade. The Hellzone grenade. And they exchange a few more blows, and then 17 goes, and this is from Viz's translation. They go, even if we have equal strength, looks like your stamina is running low. My energy is infinite. Then right after that, then it cuts the cell can. So that's a fact that 17 has unlimited energy, and they're fighting basically evenly the whole time. So to me, what I think would happen is they would continue fighting for like another hour, but like as soon as Piccolo starts to lose a little bit more stamina, 17 is going to start to gain an edge, and I think eventually, like as he gains the edge, he'll be able to do more damage, and Piccolo will eventually just weaken so much where he can't do anything. And it's unfortunate because they're even, and I think Piccolo might actually be the better fighter. It's just that the unlimited energy on 17's part, especially when they have the same power, is just, it's not, Piccolo can't come back from that. And it's not like he can get a Zenkai boost or anything like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge handicap for him.
Now, I have a point to make. I think that 17 is a little bit too cocky, and I think that Piccolo could have came out with, let's say, like a special beam cannon, and 17 would think he can either take the attack or block it, and obviously I'm not going into detail, but it would be something of that sort where that would hurt him enough to have Piccolo regain the advantage.
See, and that's the thing. If we're going on the manga, we really don't know. But I recently just rewatched those episodes in the anime. So if we go by the anime, after he gets hit with the Hellzone grenade, he starts taking it way serious because he knows what Piccolo's capable of. So I don't think that Piccolo would be able to do that again.
And I think getting the special beam cannon off is still tough. Like it's not. It's something that you can dodge.
But let's not forget the cockiness.
Or deflect.
He
wouldn't take
I don't
it head
know.
on.
You guys mentioned the special beam cannon, but I think the light grenade would play more of a factor in this if he pulled it off. Because he used it against Piccolo, he used it against Cell right after.
And it did nothing.
And that light grenade is ginormous. It did nothing to Cell. But you saw 17's reaction and 18's reaction. They all thought Cell was dead. And 17 is like, oh my god.
I think they also were shocked about how much power Piccolo still had left.
No.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think if 17 uses, because he uses his barrier thing with the Hellzone grenade, he's brought that out, and then in Dragon Ball Super we see that's like he uses that a lot in battle. Do you believe that if Piccolo decides to launch a light grenade, that, 17, if he uses his barrier, do you think that could penetrate through that and kill 17? Like, do you think that with 17 using his barrier, Piccolo using the light grenade, hits him head on, but do you think that kills 17 and breaks through the barrier?
How many times have we seen somebody use the barrier, aside from?
I don't think it would.
I was about to say, from what we've seen in Super, I don't know.
I don't think so either. But we're not going to include Super, because Super we know for a fact that 17 is stronger.
Even if you don't go by Super, the Hellzone grenade wasn't able to do anything against his barrier, and I think the light grenade is a little more powerful than the Hellzone grenade, but the bottom line is it still was able to hold up. So even if he was able to even if it broke through the barrier, it would still absorb some of the power of it. So even if it breaks, I think the light grenade would not be as powerful as it initially was, because the barrier kind of absorbed a lot of it. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, yeah, just like with any barrier, that would happen. So it's kind of, yeah.
If
I am agreeing with you
survives-
that it wouldn't be nearly as strong as what hit Imperfect Cell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if 17 survives that, he still hasn't lost any stamina. But a big misconception is that people think that the unlimited stamina means that androids can't get injured. That's a complete lie. That's a complete misconception. Androids can get injured and damaged. It's just they don't get tired. And they can, they don't show fatigue or anything like that, and that's what most of it is. He can keep getting hit and taking regular hits and not really get phased by it, but he can't take a full powered Kamehameha to the face and get back up and pretend like it's nothing. That's not even shown in Dragon Ball Super. Android 18 sprained her ankle in the Tournament of Power.
Well, they still are. They were at one point humans.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have bones.
And that's the thing. So I feel 17 could get injured, but I think Piccolo can get injured too. So I feel both of their chances of that are about equal, and it really just comes down to what happens. But I feel 17 would gain the edge quick, because I feel Piccolo wouldn't pull out the light grenade until he started to lose stamina, and I feel that's my last resort.
I have another,
because that's kind of how he.
I have another actual way that he could do it, and it's the same way, the same tactic that he used against his fight with Imperfect Cell just before that, where he would fake, let's say losing an arm or a leg, and then being considered out of the fight, but then being able to grow it right back and then jumping in and having the element of surprise. And so that's their difference. It's just having that element of surprise, and that's who would win.
Mm-hmm. And it's really tough because there's no concrete answer, because we're sitting here debating.
It's pretty much head.
Bottom line is.
Yeah, but
exactly.
My head's bigger than yours, so come on.
Oh, okay. Now you want to have this debate?
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. It is there is no one true answer or one right answer. It's just good scenarios to think of.
Well, we have a really
for sure,
good.
But I truly feel Piccolo, how I originally said, I feel Piccolo would eventually just lose his edge because of 17's infinite energy. Try end up pulling out an ultimate technique or something, but I don't think it would work because 17's barrier is so tough. Even if he gets hit, it would. God.
Piccolo does say that 17 isn't 17's physicality isn't anything compared to what he is. He gets punched and he says that he didn't feel anything.
In the first part, the first half of the fight, or the second, because it's two different.
After the light grenade.
I noticed.
After
the Hellzone grenade.
I did notice a line. I was watching Z in Japanese. I was watching episode 149 before this, where Piccolo does say, he's oh yeah, your speed's impressive, but your punches are nothing. But then
that's
they
exactly
go back.
what I was referring to.
I felt that was more of a taunting thing.
That was more
right
Piccolo.
17's landing these blows, and but regardless, I feel the whole fight is just really awesome in my opinion, especially for Z, because it's like one of the few fights that we see that isn't just like a Super Saiyan and like some villain. Like this is like two non like main protagonists.
It's very underrated too, and it's short. Okay. I mean, if you look in the manga, it's a chapter and a half.
It's really short in the manga.
Yeah, and in the anime, maybe in 2 episodes. I mean, you guys watched it like recently.
Yes,
I think it's a total of 3, like maybe 2.5.
Yeah, it's not very long.
So what's the what?
But I think
I was gonna say what is the definitive end to their fight?
I personally think I don't think Piccolo has. Like, I just feel like if it was anybody else, Piccolo would have won, because Piccolo's a really tough fighter to beat, but the only thing is it's like just 17 just doesn't get tired, and he has that barrier to like protect himself from like almost any attack that Piccolo can throw at him. I think it's 17.
Do you remember in the very beginning of the fight when he finds out it's a 1-on-1 and he goes, "Oh, I might have a chance"? So do you think that Piccolo was going into the fight and he would have done whatever he had to in order to buy more time for Goku?
It's an interesting point, but I feel like since he said that, but he can't sense his ki, so he doesn't have a gauge of what his full power is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he can feel his punches.
Yeah.
Yes, he can feel his punches, but that was kind of before. He said that before the fight started. Am I correct?
What did say what?
What you said, where he said, "Oh, I might have a chance if it's a 1v1."
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of something that you shouldn't really look towards, because it's like, you know, that he can't sense his ki, so he doesn't know how strong he is yet. He's just kind of assuming.
But he knows how strong 17 is.
And he knows how strong 18 is.
Or I'm sorry, 18. Because 18.
He saw Vegeta in 18 fight.
But 18 wasn't really using her full power. She was kind of just screwing with him the whole time.
Sure, but then I guess
I mean,
I did want to point out that when he uses the light grenade, 17 has to dodge out of the way, and he doesn't use the barrier. So maybe that's something to point out.
I don't really know. I mean, it could be like something to look at, but I feel like it's just like, I feel like that's more of just like a plot thing. You know what I mean? I feel like Toriyama just forgot.
Maybe.
I think that eventually I'm just gonna take the stand of what Sal has said, because I completely agree with him that eventually Piccolo would get a little tired and then he has to use his last resort, but that 17 still has that speed advantage after that, so that I think he'd still be able to take that fight just with his speed and his stamina still being up, and eventually Piccolo not being able to keep up with him.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, there is a contradiction here, though. It was always assumed in Dragon Ball that the strongest was the fastest, and so your speed and power tend to be on the same level, excluding like Super Saiyan Grade 3 and stuff like that. But I wonder why in this case they wanted to point out he was faster, but he's still weaker than him.
Are you talking about when Piccolo said your punches aren't doing anything?
Yeah, but your speed is impressive.
Yeah, but you have to take that as, if you're a fighter, you know, you're doing whatever you can to taunt your enemy.
Yeah.
But Piccolo isn't like that, especially now that he's Kami.
No, I don't know, because Piccolo's also a smart fighter. Like,
yeah, like trying to get into the head of his opponent.
Because think what happens right after Piccolo says that. 17 gets pissed off and like charges him,
which means he's reckless.
Cool.
And that's what you want. You want to get your opponent reckless so that they do something stupid so that you can take the advantage.
And that's actually tied into their energy. That's your key.
But I think we can all agree that if 17 doesn't have his infinite energy, and it's just literally like Piccolo versus 17, but no infinite energy for 17, Piccolo wins this hands down.
Oh, hands down, Piccolo takes this fight.
Piccolo's the better fighter. You know, he has more techniques up his sleeve. He has regeneration. You know, it's tough to beat that.
If he remembers about generation. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna handicap one, you have to handicap the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely just that 17 has that trump like advantage, that trump card advantage. So it's kind of like you can't really say for certain because of course we never saw it. So we're pretty much just making this inferring on what we've already seen. But we don't know technically what would have happened. So what we do know is that when they're both at their full power, they are even.
Right.
But
and
as a fight, yeah. But then after, you know, the fight continues, we don't know. We wouldn't know who has that advantage. But we can just infer from 17 having, you know, infinite energy and that stamina that maybe he would have that advantage, and that's why I picked 17. But if it is true that and Piccolo wasn't just taunting with the strength portion of it, then it could sway to Piccolo's way, which is what you like your guys' side of the argument. So
there is,
but I just feel like that.
There is one other thing. If we're going to get a little more technical, without the unlimited energy, because that's just a special kind of battery that is inside of them. Their actual ki is it's broken down into 3 different parts. One being Genki, the other 2 are Shoki and Yuki, and so Genki is based on your life energy, while the other one is vigor, or like how courageous you are, and the last one is if you have a level-minded head. So like like during the Saiyan saga, like Nappa lost his shit and
lost his cool.
Yeah, and Vegeta calls out to him and he goes, you have to relax, you're gonna lose. This all it all plays into your ki. You can't control yourself, therefore you can't access your full potential. So if Piccolo can go and play on that, and because he is an intellectual fighter and probably would do something like that, he could have the advantage as well. I think that at the end of the day, they both have an equal amount of opportunities to win, and so it really is like one of Dragon Ball's true draws until we get to Super.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's a clear, like, just the translation saying that he is stronger.
Yeah, Piccolo.
No, 17.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we have to agree to disagree, or are you guys still? So you guys are still on the Piccolo side?
I think I'm starting to sway, honestly. Especially now, I just looked at some more of the manga. I'm sorry,
okay.
at some more of the manga, and like at one point, Gohan is scared that they'll kill Piccolo, even if he's only fighting one android, and like Gohan knows how much stronger Piccolo's gotten, so and Goku also says he can't help, so I don't know.
Gohan's also Gohan has also lost Piccolo right in front of him. So he doesn't want to go through that again, and he knows how, like, what they did to Vegeta. Like he doesn't want to go through that.
And he also knows the repercussions of what happens if Piccolo dies again.
Actually, if there is no Kami, there are no Dragon Balls. So Piccolo died.
At that point, yeah, at that point,
right?
Oof.
So they still had to bring Dende during.
Oh, I thought you meant him absorbing the androids. Never mind. Cell, I mean.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no.
So, I guess so. You're still on Piccolo's side there, Steven, because of your video, or are you gonna come over to the logical side? You're gonna come join us over here.
The logical side has given you way more points than just stamina, and you can't actually explain that stamina. So, are you really sure that you want to call yourself the logical side?
Okay, how about
do you want to?
How about we put it?
Yeah.
How about we put it as if we've talked fighting techniques and everything, and how definitely things might contradict each other and everything. We can agree to disagree, but I'm still sticking with 17.
And that
Our argument was so good, we stole your teammate.
no, and that's okay. And I do understand,
Sorry.
and I agree with your points. I think that there's an equal side on, like, there's a equal amount of points on both sides. So I'm not going over. You guys think you have logic on your side? Damn, hell no.
Okay. All right.
We might have logic, but he has science.
Wow, Sal.
We're-
I'm getting you a dictionary for your birthday.
We're not cavemen. We have technology. So we agree to disagree, and that's going to take us into our second break. And after the break, we're going to be breaking down the recent announcement of the DBZ 30th set anniversary and what we got. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we'll see you guys after the break. Welcome everybody back to the third part of the Dragon Ball Network podcast. I am joined still by my three other guests, Sal, Louise, and Steven. What's going on, guys?
Shot.
Yeah.
勝負だカカロト
Holy shit, that was good.
Whoa!
I was kidding.
Whoa!
That was good.
That came out of nowhere.
I like it. All right.
So let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's just get into this, okay? So they just released the trailer of what the new set is going to look like. And if anybody watched our previous episodes, I almost got Sal the Saiyan to say that this was going to be the best release ever. I almost did.
Remember what I said.
Yeah, no. Make sure to go back and watch that because Sal was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go on record. So
Exactly. I didn't want to go on record because I knew Funimation. Like I knew there was a chance that they would just screw it up.
we thought it was going to be Dragon Ball.
I thought it was like a 5% chance. I thought there was like a 5% chance that they would screw it up. But like,
I even said at the end of that segment, we just hope Funimation doesn't fuck this up. And guess what happened?
that's what they did. Yeah.
They fucked it up.
I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. They. In my eyes, this whole release is now fucked. But, I think that it's still gonna get made because people are still gonna buy it. But
They might. Am I not?
Yeah, fucking idiot.
it's. Sal, do you want to explain what is wrong with this? Because I feel like I'll just go off if I start.
Well, what's wrong with it is the entire thing that it's advertised to be is this whole thing digitally remastered. It's the same thing they did with the Orange Bricks. It's not as bad as the Orange Bricks. Now, I'll go on and say, and the picture quality is better than the Orange Bricks, better than the old Blu-ray, but oh my god, we were supposed to get the beautiful image quality that we got at the movie theater screenings here in the U.S. of the Bardock special, the movie 8.
Like the level sets.
Yeah.
Well, those are better than the level sets.
Yeah.
It was better than the level sets.
Yeah,
the level sets were the best.
They did the
Blu-ray we got, but
they released over here the remasters that they did of like Bardock and everything, and in the movie theaters, and it looked fucking amazing.
It was pretty good.
yeah, like you know how okay, so you know the big issue with the Toei new Blu-ray movie release, how they have
With the
it's
censorship?
great quality, like the best quality that we've ever had,
But it's censored.
but it's just censored, so I would never buy it because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy censored Dragon Ball. But it looks amazing, so it's like that picture quality was what we were supposed to get.
But at least the
we got
censorship makes
was-
sense because their audience has changed. But in this case, they haven't
Yeah,
even
exactly.
done anything.
Their audience has Funimation. It would never make sense for them to censor because their audience is
The same.
Right.
18 to 30 to 40-year-olds.
Sweaty, fat. No,
Sweaty fat neckbeards, like just sitting there like being like, actually the quality is really good. You don't know what you're talking about, childish Saiyan.
Are you eating the tan?
Shan.
No,
When will you learn?
the thing that pissed me off about that trailer though was how they were like, oh yeah, in 4:3. It doesn't matter if it's 4:3 if whatever's
it's zoomed in 4:3.
yeah, it's even zoomed in. It's not the regular 4:3. It doesn't even matter if it's 4:3 if what's in that 4:3 square is fucked up. So it doesn't even matter.
But the whole purpose of 4:3, like people wanting it, is so that way you get the full image quality, so things aren't cut off. This doesn't matter because they zoomed it in.
Yeah, they had 4:3, and they were like, I don't know what it is with Funimation and wanting to crop shit, but
it's only with Dragon Ball
yeah.
too. Like I don't know what's up with them
because they keep getting.
And it's not even all of Dragon Ball. It's only Z.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. They're like, we're not gonna give them that. It's so that they can sell us another one in the future, dog.
In 2 years.
Yeah. So
I have a theory as to why they did it, though.
Go ahead.
Because, well, what is it selling for? $350?
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about this release on the first podcast, and we were like, well, look, I added up the price if you bought all 7 Dragon boxes when they came out, and it was like in the 400s. And this would cost more to make than the Dragon boxes.
You were saying 500.
So it's like, well, I know that Dragon boxes cost over 400.
Oh, okay.
If you bought all 7 of them.
When they just came out?
Yeah, when they were like 7.
Oh yeah, not now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, okay, I was so confused.
Now you're 400 for one sometimes, but like my theory is that they felt that if they were to make like a profit on this, like if they were to do it the right way, like they felt like they would need to charge so much. You know what I mean? Like because the Dragon boxes altogether, you had to buy them and be over 400. For this, it'd be what, 600? If you were to do it like the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are complaining. Oh, $350. I'm not buying that. What do you think they would say if it was 600?
Wait, but Sal, this is the 4th release, and they're still not giving what they promised.
Exactly.
350 is also, but 350 is pretty cheap for a collector's edition.
I thought it was
the Cowboy
too.
Bebop. The Cowboy Bebop full set collector's edition is $600, and that's only like 25 episodes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So,
I think it's a great price. I would pay $600 for it if it was there. I would pay $1,000 if I had to, because I know it would retain its value, and probably definitely go up in value. But the thing is, just the fact that we were lied to again, just like it's annoying.
well, we've been lied to as far as we know. Like this is only the first trailer. Not even the like it's apparently very early on still.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't know how you would say it. I don't know why they would release a trailer showing this footage if it's not representative of what we're gonna get. Because that seems like a very bad idea.
Yeah.
So I hope that it was just a very bad marketing decision to put out this trailer this early on in production.
It's.
But
I see a ton of people using that defense that they're like, oh, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it's not what the final product's gonna look like. If you're asking people to send you $350 for this, and you put out a trailer it looks like it did, and then it's like
Wait, it
you're like, oh shit,
it looks worse. It looks like there's a filter over it.
Yeah, it's like why like Luis said, why would you put out something that's not representative of what the final product's gonna be?
Right.
So why would you be telling people we need you to pre-order it now, but then give them a shitty trailer? Like I don't know. People are like, "Oh, it's a mistake." I'm like, if you're asking people for money, why are you going to make that mistake? You're like, "No, we got to make sure this is perfect." What the hell? That's a stupid argument.
And Jake, the biggest thing is that this isn't like a GoFundMe type of a situation. This is an established company who has done this, many times already. So there's no reason for it.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you want this shit? Send us your money." But it's like, but I don't want this shit. I want something good. It's like, well, this is what you're gonna get. Like, no, dude. That's why, like, I was so hyped for this release. We were all hyped for this release. We thought it was gonna be the perfect release. We thought it was gonna be 4:3, like perfect quality. Like we didn't know if it was going to be Dragon Box. Like Sal was saying that it could be Dragon Box quality, but
I thought it was better. I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
What we were supposed to get
The
was
Dragon
better.
Box ain't even that good.
no, the colors are weird in the
The
Dragon
level
Box.
sets. The
Yeah.
level sets are better than the Dragon Boxes. They're just discontinued. That's the issue. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, what I was so pissed off about was the fact that they like if it's, let's just say they actually are saving the real image quality for the release or future trailers. It literally caught, like, that was 30 seconds of footage that they used.
Yeah,
like,
but Team 4-Star is going to use
how
it
much
now.
Oh,
No.
yeah, sure.
Really?
That's what they're
Yeah,
concerned.
there's no real reason. It's just stupidity.
It makes no sense. I mean, I understand, as Geekdom was saying, that they haven't made the release yet. Like, they haven't started it. They're waiting until they get the reservations. But the issue is 30 seconds of footage. Like, you could at least, like, make the, like, they would have probably 10,000 reservations if they advertised it right. I would have bought it. I know that.
Yeah, me
Right
too.
there. I bought it the second. So what happened was the second the trailer dropped, I bought it because there was a link in the description. I go back, go on Twitter, see everybody raging about it. So first of all, when it happened, I made a video on DragonBall Network about the release, and I'm like, oh, this is great. You know, we're finally getting that good quality that we wanted. Then I go on Twitter and I see everybody's raging about it. They're like, no, this is the worst thing ever. And I see Anime AJ, he's like complaining about it. And I'm like, oh, let me like think about it. So I'm like an hour goes by and I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to cancel the order. And then I canceled the order.
Yeah. Why would anybody buy this?
Well, so
Okay, we're gonna address the elephant in the room right now.
and you guys don't know about the elephant, but here's the elephant.
This elephant is fucking huge and has "I bought the Funimation set" written all over its ass. Louise bought this thing. Why did you still buy this? What reasoning?
Well, it's really funny that this is the one episode that I'm a guest on. But, you see, I have my reasons. Like, I don't own any of Dragon Ball Z besides the 4th Dragon Box. I own all of Kai, I own all of DB, all of GT, none of Z. Well, I have a couple, Orange Brick CDs lying around somewhere, but I'm not gonna watch
Garbage.
that.
I'd rather watch it on Funimation's streaming service.
Yeah.
Which is the Blu-ray quality, which is butt cheeks anyway.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better than Orange Bricks.
For sure. The thing about the set, it's like we mentioned, it's a fairly cheap price for what you're getting. I want to support the series even though it doesn't really need support, if I'm being honest. You know, like, I'm one person in the billions of people that buy Dragon Ball stuff every day. It's gonna go up in value, which, if anything, it will help me get the Dragon Boxes if I sell it eventually. You know, the Grandista figure looks nice. The art book I'm excited for, and it's 4x3, is it?
Yeah, but it's like zoomed in 4x3, so it's
yeah.
not like a full 4x3.
If it is zoomed in, I will be very, very pissed off. At least what it looks like it is right now. But
zoomed in
personally,
4x3.
I've never really been one to care much about, you know, how an image looks that much. Like, of course, the orange bricks are awful. I will never get that. But I don't know. This is much less severe than that I'm willing to overlook the sins, because it's the right aspect ratio as far, like, I'm not gonna be able, when I'm watching the show, I'm not gonna be able to tell that 1% of the image is cut off on the sides.
It's
you know?
20%, but this actually falls into the first conversation we had on the podcast.
But it's 20% on the orange bricks. It's only 20% on the orange bricks and the Blu-rays. It's
Well,
not
I don't know
20% on this.
Did you see the comparison that T. Howell
Yeah, but it's not
made?
20%.
It's not 20%.
I know. I did see AJ's video, but it's not 20%.
I didn't actually get a chance to
Fine,
see it
it's
yet.
not-
Did you see AJ's video? Okay. Yeah, no, it's not 20%. But you
I
did
agree
see how
completely. And the one
the
thing that
zoom
really
was
annoys
done.
me,
It's
the one
not
thing
a
that
lot,
really actually
but
made
it's
me reconsider,
weird that they got 4
buying
by
this
3
was
and
the
still
noise
zoomed it
reduction.
in a little
The
bit.
noise reduction actually pisses me off. That's the one thing I actually think is a huge deal.
I was hoping for the broadcast audio, and like there were like rumors that we would get that. Like Geekdom was saying,
Yes.
Oh my
like,
god.
oh, it's possible even if we don't get the broadcast audio, we're gonna get like a really good remaster of the Japanese audio, and that would have been amazing because that's one of my biggest issues with.
Well, no, we don't know that yet, do we? I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen.
We didn't really get it either. Not
Here's the bottom line.
They didn't
Because obviously
they didn't mention it in that trailer. You'd think if that was their huge selling point was 4 by 3.
Regardless of
that was it.
quality, I will go out and buy this.
Exactly.
But I need to wait for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't trust them at this point. Exactly.
If it had the original broadcast audio, they would be priceless, honestly. Even if the image quality is.
Yeah, we need more details.
Having that in an official release would be incredible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, the audio quality is more important than the image quality.
If it was orange brick quality and had that, I'm pretty sure we'd still buy it.
It's a kind of different point of view, but I can't watch it with Falconer. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. Like, the sound is more important than what's on the TV, like what I'm seeing. Even though, it's like just picture quality, but the audio quality was a big difference because one time I was watching Dragon Ball Z, and my girlfriend was there, and I was on the Funimation app, and I switched it between English and Japanese because they had I wanted to show her the difference between Goku's voice, and she was like, "Why does the Japanese version sound so muffled? Like, you know, it's like really noticeable.
It sounds native.
It's like it sounds like."
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no different than when like the dub actors would come in and they would make the mistakes. It's not their fault that they're making the mistakes. Their thing is to read off the script. That's their job. But it's the fault of the directors and the people that they're putting into those fields of this product to mess it up.
And it was so stupid because what happened was they threw away the original audio, and they have a copy of it, and that's why it sounds bad. I don't know the exact details, but it's something like that. So a bit who made that decision?
Well, it was pretty common back in the day for Funimation for space saving purposes because back then nothing was digital. So you had to have a lot of space to save that.
But if we're already talking about that, the back in the day stuff, the actual pictures that they would draw would they were still they were bigger than 4 by 3. So I don't understand why they keep cutting it down. Like they cut it down to 6 by 9 to fit standard TVs today, but they still have that extra room now, so they can you can zoom out and fit everything in. And then if it's extra that nobody has seen before, then you can cut from there. Because there is artwork that goes off of the page that we don't see.
Well,
that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But
it's not much, and a lot of it is incomplete. Like I have an animation, so, and a large part of it.
It's not much though.
The one I have is of Gohan and Krillin at Tenkaichi Budokai, and it goes for a bit further than the actual frame is, but then from then on it's just a blur bunch of lines where Gohan's head should be, and you don't want to show that. So it's not
But it's just a reference. But I'm saying if they're gonna zoom out and then cut into the actual artwork, but it's just gonna be a little bit versus enough to be noticeable by so many and that to be angered, that to anger the fans, then why do that? Why not? Right.
Yeah.
It seems like there's so many logical ways they could have taken this, and it would be the same exact process of putting this item out. Instead, they chose to do it this way. So I wonder what they're
you'd think. Go ahead. You'd think after all of these years that we've spent telling them what we want, that they would take a hint and not,
like, it
not
seems like
put
it would
out
be more
what they
work
want,
to
being
zoom
like,
in,
oh,
like,
you guys will
do
like
that.
this, right? 4x3, but it still doesn't look the way we want it to. Like,
Well, if they put out one
like,
perfect,
like, why
version
not
of
just
it,
put
then
the
that's it.
original
That's
4x3?
one.
Like, we know they have it. Like, why they won't do that? I'm not sure, but it's like, well, yeah, they can't put it out again because, well, but this is so limited. So if they did put it out,
Why
it would
not
just be
take
like
the
the
image
Dragon
quality from the
boxes. It would
Dragon
be
boxes,
limited,
even though it's not
and people would still be looking forward to
Why not
another
just take
release
that?
because
You
they
don't
know
have
it would
do
be
any
hard to
work.
get
Already
this one.
exists. Just take that and just put it on here.
So
and just like add a few more bonus features, like different box art and stuff, and just slap a 30th anniversary thing on it, and just maybe invest some money into the broadcast audio or something like that, or just updating the audio. Like, wouldn't that be easier and just better and just, I don't know, and more cost effective? I don't know.
Well, I don't know how the work for transition a DVD to a Blu-ray would be, but I mean,
Wouldn't they have
from
to
that
do that
standpoint,
anyway?
I think it.
Well, the Dragon Box exists still, so I mean, can't you just download?
Do you think they
What I
even
understand
still
is, can't you
have
just
those
download-
remasters of the Dragon boxes?
Wait,
Well,
Well, they're in partnership with Toei.
Well,
Toei's the one.
I
that
know it
made those.
exists,
Isn't Shueisha
but
the one that made
does
it?
They're
Funimation
pretty close
still
right
have
now.
that
Shueisha's the one that
remaster?
owns
I
all
don't
of it.
know.
like they're the big company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't. What? I thought. What? You're confusing
You
me
should
now.
take a look. I'm pretty sure it's Shueisha, not Toei.
I think Shueisha is the overlord company that owns Toei, if I believe. But
Yeah.
regardless, Toei is still the one that I think puts it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Toei's the animation company.
Toei is the one
Okay,
who
we're
has the
together.
rights to
Shueisha is the one that
distribute it to
owns the-
Funimation.
The name.
Wish it was
Correct.
Madhouse, but
Okay. Yeah.
They own
Okay.
like Shonen Jump or V Jump.
It's Shueisha is the magazine.
Yeah, they're probably the ones that own
like the
the
print.
rights.
They're
So
the
they
ones
don't
who
really
got
have
the
much to do
copyright
with
strikes.
the anime version of it.
Oh, fine. All right.
Yeah.
So they're not the animating aspect of the company. Yeah.
Probably. That's something we would have to look up. But getting back to this topic, I just think it's amazing that Funimation can pull this time and time again and give us a subpar release again, or from what we know so far would be a subpar release. Who knows? The people who have the argument that, oh, maybe it was a mistake, it's not the finished product, whatever, I don't care. But it's like I don't know how we can keep letting them I guess just we're gullible fans. Is that what it is? And people fall for it? Like, there's people like us that get mad over it, but then there's
that.
No,
It's also
that
the
I know
cheapest way
Luis
to
is
get
just getting
this
it because he
entire set.
knows that
Versus
that he'll it's so
Unless you get
limited
the
that
Blu-rays
eventually
or the
it'll be worth money.
Right.
the orange
But
they're like under
But those
$100.
Exactly.
look worse.
unless you, the orange bricks that are like $60. Yeah, but it's just ridiculous that they can keep doing this and then we buy it. You'd think
How can they
eventually
do this?
we would just be like,
It's
no,
outrageous.
give us the perfect
unfair.
release, or
How can they give us
eventually
a home
they'll
release
just keep
It's
losing
and
people.
not
It's unfair.
have
Like,
proper image quality?
how could they do this? I am upset.
Have a seat,
Oh, well,
young Jake.
Your actions have consequences.
I have to go make my picket sign right now. I'm gonna You freaking fricks. God.
I grew up
It's
on
just
the bricks.
oh my god, dude. It's like I have some of the orange bricks, but it's like I watched those too, but with Kai. It's just oh my god, dude. I want to own Dragon Ball Z.
Just
Like I don't want to just have a Funimation account. Like I want to own like the perfect Dragon Balls. I will shell out money.
Well, if you want, like,
I know, and I don't want to do that. I want like
5.
there's a lot of people just like me that don't want to go spend
you can get them for, like,
butt
70
fuck
bucks.
ton of money on.
I got Dragon Box 5 for like $60. But I mean, like, that's a pretty good. That was my first one I got. I've
That's
seen the cell
them.
games. Dragon Box 5. That's the bottom line. They should have a proper release.
Based on today's standards.
It's 2019.
But I shouldn't have to do
Especially
that,
in the age of
Sal.
social media, like
They should put
especially
out
since, like, the
a
prevalence of the
competent
Dragon Ball
release.
community in influencing everything. Like
Yeah,
back then
based
it was,
on the
like,
standards
let's say they
that
released,
everybody-
when they released the Orange Bricks, people didn't really know.
Right.
You see digitally 7, I think. They have they slap on them digitally remastered, so somebody sees that. Oh boy, digitally remastered. Little
That was
kid
what
buys it,
2000
picks it off the shelves. Say, hey, mommy, I want
2007.
this.
Yeah,
Like, they're not gonna know. But today, in like the age of social media, like
yeah.
in the influence of the Dragon Ball community. Well, the thing is, people wouldn't have
If they
known,
put
like, if
a
that was
trailer
today,
out
yeah, but back then, I
with
don't think
the
they
orange
would've
brick
known.
quality,
But since we
Dude,
have the
nobody
community
would've
now,
bought
these
those.
People who know, like, who are able to
Never.
point it out to us. Like, if you would have showed me 5 years ago this trailer, I would have been like, "Holy crap, that's amazing!" But like, since now we have these people who are educated in the matter of it,
Wait, Sal, what
they're able to.
what was so amazing about it? There were less lines.
Yeah.
It was white and less color. Like, from that little trailer.
yeah, like in the field of animation.
They're taking away more from the picture.
I'm saying for 5 years ago, I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, I was
Oh,
buying
I
my
see.
Orange Bricks.
I see.
Well, we're saying
So then, do you see their trend?
yeah.
when the
5 years
school
ago,
box
you've
art.
only seen the
But
orange bricks.
They can't get away with
or
that anymore. Like,
it's like
they don't have the 3,000.
we would have been like, this is fucking
There's
amazing.
probably like 500
But now
of them that are like in Luis's situation where they're like, all right, I'll just get it
Yeah.
as a collector's thing, and then like, who knows, maybe it'll end up being good quality. Like, I can get lucky. But then there's other people who are like, awesome 30th anniversary. This is going to be so cool. Like great release, like best thing ever. Like, you know, like so hyped.
Well, you guys gotta also know that like the people who are informed are a fairly small minority. Like,
Thank you,
like,
Funimation.
I don't know how many subscribers AJ has, but last time I checked, his video had like 30,000 views.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Well, that's awesome. That's a huge amount of people. But you got to remember, not all of them are going to live in the United States, which
It's up to
where this is
100K
primarily focused
now.
at. Not all of them are gonna. Most of them are probably not gonna get it, and that's 100,000 people that aren't gonna get it, which is great.
97,000.
But
Or rather, in that case, yeah. But like,
90
if he were to sway them, you know, yeah.
yeah, if he were to sway them, and like that's a relatively small number of people watching his video compared to the amount of people who are Dragon Ball fans in the exactly.
Yeah, we're talking the Twitter
Most
fandom
people-
and YouTube fandom. We're
Yeah,
not talking about the
exactly.
Facebook fandom. Like, I go on Facebook
Yeah.
and I see like,
Yeah,
and I see-
In the community, yeah.
the kind of people who are gonna buy this set without knowing the repercussions of it,
Or they're
are
not
gullible,
fans.
so yeah.
They're getting
And-
somebody else.
or then maybe, and they're the kind of people that like see
Are
a
gullible
Dragon Ball
as hell.
shirt
They're the
at
gull-
like the mall, and they get it because they watched it as a kid. You know?
yeah, I mean, I'm too
they're
embarrassed
not-
to wear a Dragon Ball shirt in public. Like,
Oh, I'm not.
like,
that's
screw
that's
this-
sad.
Like, screw this fandom.
Oh no, yeah.
Are you serious?
I have a freezer shirt
No,
right now.
Dude,
That's,
I actually
it's in Japanese.
have like
Like
an orange
he's
jacket with
saying-
black sleeves that has
And
the
he's saying my
turtle
power
hermit
level's
symbol on the back, dude.
530,000 in Japanese.
Is
Nice.
I actually just bought a shirt that has every form of Frieza on it.
I think that
Yeah, but
So-
I saw.
I have a good
Yeah, it,
idea
like,
for
breaks it
DBN. I
down.
think that
It's
with our
actually
growing
kinda cool. I got it for, like-
success, we should be able
I think it was like at
to
a
get
Ross
more
or something.
merchandise
I
to
got it for, like,
fans
$6. I was
for
like, bet.
a cheaper price. But like legit stuff. That way they feel like they're part of the fandom.
Mm-hmm. I'll wear that in public.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
We do have merchant.
No,
Wait,
just kidding.
I'd love to do merch.
hold
in
on,
the
but
future.
we do have merchandise.
Yeah, I'll wear that.
yeah, Jay made merchandise.
But-
Yeah.
And,
Are you sure? Are you sure, Smug?
Right.
I'll send you a shirt for free.
And
But regardless, anyway, so I saw on Facebook in the comment section of like Funimation's like post for it.
oh yeah, she did. She's gonna be
Like,
wearing
the
that at
top comments,
KamehameHa.
There better be Bruce Falconer. If there's no Bruce Falconer, that's not what I grew up with. I am not supporting this. Literally has like 3,000 likes. Top comment.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Bruce's poop. That's all I have to say about that.
Dude, are you for real?
Super Saiyan. Gohan goes Super
Oh my
Saiyan 2.
God.
Wait.
I'm sorry, but if I wanted
16,
weird techno
you
music
love
put in
life.
at the wrong times,
And you were just an
Bruh.
android.
I feel it slipping.
And I won't have it anymore.
Stephanie Dotolmi is good, though. I like Stephanie Dotolmi.
I like her as Goku. I don't like her as Goku.
I like her better as Goku.
Wait, she did Goku, right?
She did Goku. I think she does
Okay,
a
okay,
really
I
good
thought- Oh my
Goku.
God.
I think she does a better Goku than Colin Clickenbeard. I don't think her Goku is good. I don't think she captures the character right.
I kind of agree.
Because I feel like
But I like her Gohan better though.
at times it depends. I agree. When I hear Gohan, when I think of Gohan, I think of Colin Clickenbeard. When I read the manga, when I read Goku, I think I hear Nadolny for sure because I think she does a good job like capturing the character. Like there's not too much except for the script. When I watched the Japanese version, that like I was like, oh, I didn't understand the character of Kid Goku. Adult Goku, yeah, there's a major difference, but like Kid Goku, I feel like generally she captures the character pretty well.
Well, yeah, it's a much more faithful dub.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also
But
working
that's
with,
kind of off
with
topic.
Toriyama back in the day. If you go look back in the
What?
guidebooks, they would like
yeah.
they would always be bouncing. What?
No,
Go ahead.
we're talking about the
I know,
the dub scripting
And
for
I'm
the
and I'm
original
saying
Dragon
for
Ball.
the like the Japanese versions, you can see back in like in the guidebooks, they would have conversations, or they would be talking about the conversations they would have on how they have to portray the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they also Toriyama used to handpick some of the voice actors. Like I know he handpicked the voice of Krillin, obviously
Masako
Goku.
Nozawa.
Mm-hmm.
He also, like you said he worked with in the original Dragon Ball. He also worked in Z a lot, especially towards the beginning. Like the whole thing about the not the Yarjats, the
History of the Saiyans,
Tsufurajins. Yeah, the story of the Saiyans. The Otherworld tournament lore was his idea.
Even though it was a filler.
He designed PyCon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had more control back then, or on the Boo saga. He was more limited during the first two big arcs.
I just don't think he cared.
During the Boo,
Like I don't think he cared enough. No, I don't think he really cared enough anymore. Because the Boo Saga, he was like, all right, I don't really like. I'm just gonna do whatever I
no,
want.
no,
That's why the
he
Boo
was
Saga-
allowed
I
to
think
do.
it's I think it's the other way around. I think he was having so much fun with
that
it.
that was more true
No,
Toriyama.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I feel like the Boo Saga, he didn't really care. He was like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna do whatever I want because it's like I'm just gonna have fun with it because I know this is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like back then in like the earlier parts, like he was like especially from like I would say the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai to like the Android arc, like I feel like he's like really trying to write this like story and everything. I thought his
That's
prime,
mostly because of his editors.
Yeah, I feel like his prime was 22nd Takeji Budokai to the Saiyan arc. But I feel like toward the Buu Saga, like the tone completely changes, like, and he just kind of throwing out all these.
He also comes out with the best, or his idea of the best villain based on his editor.
Well, what do you mean by that?
So his best idea of a villain was King Piccolo, and it was back then it was based on that editor. I can't pronounce his name. But then, like, they all had control. They would tell him, like, you can or can't do this. And that's why he would go and write about them. He was mocking them because they were limiting him.
He also wanted to keep around, I remember, like, this one, he wanted to keep around Semi-Perfect Cell a little longer, but, like, the editors were like, no,
it's not
like, that's a terrible character design.
It doesn't look good.
It's really funny because it was actually his old editor that told him to change 20 and
to be the main
19. And then when 17 and 18 came by, he was like the old editor
like,
again was
kids.
like, these are just brats. Change them again.
Well, actually, Toriyama said that I'm not going to use 20 because he's old. Like, that makes more sense.
It was like, it's an old geezer and a puppet or something. Like, it's the editor.
Something
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
what the editor said.
Good old Toriyama interviews.
Man, this has nothing to do with the 30th anniversary anymore.
Yeah.
Funimation doesn't own him.
But you know what Toriyama should care about is how the fuck Funimation puts out their goddamn
release. But he doesn't own the rights.
He was Chris Sabat met,
but he knows Funimation.
Toriyama,
the Dragon Ball Z TV series.
Yeah, actually. That's why it took him 35 years. We're really gonna get out of hand.
He drew the whole series.
GT's non-canon
by himself. Actually,
he drew all of Dragon Ball Super, and he did the manga
simultaneously. Yep.
And he did the voice.
He also starred in that Jay-Z song.
What about at the same time?
He also he drew the entire,
and he was also rewriting Dr. Slump too. If you guys remember that.
Okay, wait. Remember when we were going through?
I think his son made Naruto.
No.
I also heard he had a hand in One Piece, but that's not confirmed.
We were going through the comments of my video, the corrector of Dragon Ball, and one of the comments is like, "Hey, quick question: didn't Toriyama also create the Naruto series?"
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh no! Stupidity has taken another one.
Dude. Bruh.
Oh my god. Can I get in? This is going to take me another hour and a half to get through because it's really long.
So I guess what is the best
Super
comment you guys have ever gotten on one
also
of your
have
videos?
grades. And
yeah, I remember that.
To find it right now. That
was like last week.
It happened. He actually commented on that again.
Mine's gotta be that one.
Yeah, if you guys can find your greatest comment,
instead of like GT,
then
did you?
What's up?
Did I? I mean, I'm still standing.
I have plenty of those. Did you sound?
My best comment's the Naruto one. No, that's gotta be it. That's gonna take.
Yeah, go ahead, Liz.
I think my best one is one where it was in one of my what ifs, and the dude was like, "Ken Goku was who Yardrat could have gone to the Saiyans," and I posted it on Twitter, and I was like, "What does this even mean?" Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Your comments are great.
Can somebody please decode this for me?
Video We should make a video.
Oh,
DBN,
don't worry.
just,
I
like,
have
going through
I have
the
some of the
comment
best
just,
comments on YouTube.
Just like reacting to it.
People. It's so bad. I recently did a what if video. I don't know if you saw it, Smug, but I did a what if Raditz took Gohan. Dude, some of my comments on my videos before that are just
Didn't you do
so
a video about
bad.
How
Oh
like,
my
we should try
God.
coming together in Wicca the whole.
Oh, there's nothing bad about the Gohan one.
You were like,
but
guys,
before
look,
that,
we shouldn't let this
like,
divide us. We should come together. Literally, in the comments.
the Vic Mignogna thing, yes. Oh, don't worry. Let's just wait. I'm gonna pull up the best comments from that. That's
They're great. There's some that I have.
Oh my God.
I get
But
like 10 comments.
yeah,
today.
Sal, like
So,
some of those comments that you got on
sometimes I
your
just see the
your video that's like
notifications for them, shake my
what
head and just like,
Adam on Twitter.
Moscow X is Luis Black.
Oh God.
Wait,
The British.
wait.
That's why he has the British
Geekdom did
accent.
say that it would the next arc would be very fan servicey. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd get the real Goku into.
Yeah. I'm so.
Or as Sal said the other day, Goku Black actually isn't Goku. It was Turles all along.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's great. But yeah, no. Do you guys have anything you want to say
Yeah, go.
before we head off?
You know, you can double it off and just say a word.
Yes.
Oh my
no.
God.
I don't have anything else to say.
You don't have anything you want to plug? Any new projects coming up?
Oh yeah, dudes. Hell yeah. So as you guys found out through this video, my name is Luis, aka SmugStick. Thanks for having me on, my dudes. I make YouTube videos every Saturday, sometimes more than that, but usually just Saturday because I go to school and stuff. And I do what if videos, so if you like that kind of stuff, be sure to check it out and follow me on Twitter at ShareYourEnergy. Subscribe to my YouTube, SmugStick. Get me to 15,000 subs because I'm like right around the corner. And yeah, thanks, dudes.
You're welcome, my dude. Sal, you got anything you trying to say? Sal just wants to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
Sal's been going to bed since last night.
And then Steven, you got anything?
Do I really need to embarrass myself again?
Yes.
3 videos in a row.
He
What?
put together because this. We're recording this the day that the history of the Saiyans video went out on DBN. I just want to say, go check out that video because Steven put a ton of effort into that.
This man
And it
has
was a
not
really good
slept
video.
in
No, he
72
doesn't
hours.
sleep. He's.
Well, I also do
View-
study.
View this
Respect the grind. This man is just a hustler.
view the video so Steven can finally go to sleep.
So that
Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of the Dragon Ball Network podcast. We're on every week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And from everybody here at the Dragon Ball Network, we will see you guys next week.
「今日のようにぶざまな羽